Hey guys, what's up? It's your otaku here. I'm doing a little something different today. I basically am recording this from my bed, and you have basically a POV of my phone, and I'm here inside the Key Comic Collector app. And what we're gonna do today is we're basically gonna plan out my strategy for Grit City Comics. And just to give you some background, essentially, I am going to Grit City Comics with $100 budget. Now, that $100 budget includes the ticket price, which is 11 and change. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take advantage of free parking over at the Tacoma Dome Park and Ride. And then I'm going to pay about $2 to take the train there and back. So that'll be an additional $4. So about $15 in all. And I'll have about $85 in terms of spend. And I just want to give a quick shout out to my wife who is making all of this a reality. Normally, we don't budget stuff for things like this, but again, had a good quarter in terms of work related stuff, and so had some extra money, and she treated me with this sort of gift, I guess. So again, I have about an $85 budget, and really, when I'm thinking about what to target and buy, obviously I have a wish list here, and I am super focused on what I want to pick up. And so we're going to kind of go through what we want to pick up and make sure those books are kind of at the top of the wish list, so we're staying focused. But I also want to enjoy the show and try to pick up, do a lot of digging essentially. But the difficult part of doing a lot of digging is, one, you have to kind of remain disciplined, right? You can't just be pulling out stuff that you run across in order to pick up. But also just maintaining, when the opportune book does come across, having the wherewithal to pick up the book. And so that we just have to maintain that balance. Okay, so here I am in Action Comics, and really it's going to be a very simple exercise. Again, I have $85, so about 50 to 60 of that money is going to be spent on probably a wall book, something in higher grade. I doubt we're going to get anything slabbed, because generally 50 to 60 won't get you much. But we're looking to pick up maybe a key, again, Superman book. And I am going to be laser focused on picking up a Superman book. Here's a book I already have. I'm just going to check that off my list. So hopefully this video is just a fun kind of exercise. I don't know. I'm sure a lot of you go to shows and maybe you take a more like a daisical approach, have a little bit more budget, and just have a little bit more kind of like, I always say unmyeong approach, like a destiny approach. We run into whatever we run into and we pick it up. I generally have that kind of approach, but I also like to have an idea of what I want and what I'm looking for, so I don't get distracted from that goal. Now, there's a lot of things I'm sure that'll pop up, but I think I want to make this Grit City Comic Show all about picking up Superman books. So, what that means is, unless it's like a really major book in the dollar bin or something, um, we are probably going to pass on it. And so, as we're digging through bargain bins, dollar bins, and whatnot, we're going to be very kind of selective. Even if we find something like, wow, this book shouldn't be in here, um, we're going to resist the urge to kind of pick up books like that. And so I don't know how successful I'll be at that, but that's kind of my approach going in. So I'm just going to go here. We got a lot of Action Comics here, as you can see, just on the wish list. So I'm just going to kind of go through and see. And if it's something, yeah, this is something like, if we ran into the dollar bin, for example, we'd want to pick up, right? It's a Action Comics issue that I don't have from the 90s, and it's a key book. But again, not the top of my list by any means, and wouldn't be like the big $50, $60 book we'd want to pick up. So hopefully you'll just kind of, I'm just going to kind of chat through and give you my thought process as I go through these books. And I'm trying to come through an example where, okay, this is a book, if we run across it in a dollar bin or in any capacity, if it's within our budget, something we'd want to pick up. Here's a great example, right? 10-cent comic from 1951 in low grade. This is something where if we ran into it for maybe $30, right? Something we might consider picking up. And there's nothing really special about the book other than it's Action Comics. It looks to be a Win Mortimer cover. That's pretty cool. So we're just kind of going through. Again, I'm not targeting that book per se, but that's something if we ran across it, right? We would have to seriously consider spending money on it. Here's another book I have in my collection, so I'm just going to uncheck it, and we'll continue to go like that route. All right, so I'm going through here. Now, I anticipate we're going to go into maybe $2, $3 bin books, right? One of the vendors who's going to be at this show is Randy's Readers Comics. And I love Randy Reader because he brings a bunch of older books. We're talking Silver to Bronze Age books, all reader copies. And he generally sells them for in the range of $3 to $2 to $1. And so I know I can go there, probably pick up a stack of Action comic books that I don't have in my collection and try to get them for like $2 a piece or $1 a piece, depending on kind of the volume that I have. So he's going to be one of the first places I go just to start digging and seeing what he has. Now, let's say, for example, I pick up 35 Bronze Age books from like Superman, Action Comics, and, the Superman family run. Then, we may just spend a good chunk of change there as the as the focus of, you know, because I doubt we're going to be able to find that kind of stuff all in one place, right? Like this is an example of a book, right? That would be in there, maybe mid grade, lower grade copy. We could pick up for $2 to $1, right? And that's something we'd want to do. And again, Randy's Readers Comics is going to be the best place to kind of pick up stuff like that. Nothing in high grade. It's all going to be mid to low grade. Everything's going to be kind of loose, raw books there in the comic boxes. But definitely we'll have that. Now, again, I'm not going to overpay for stuff like that. If he's asking like too much or doesn't give me a good deal, then we'll move on and we'll get something else. Now, with that being said, I'm also planning to stop at Ancient Comics and dig through the quarter bins after the show. So hopefully I can make quick rounds and have maybe, five or $10 maybe left over. I doubt it though, but if we don't find anything, again, if we're not finding too much and having a hard time spending the money, which I doubt we'll have that time problem. But assuming that happens, then whatever we have left over, we'll spend at Ancient Comics in the quarter bin books. And I haven't been to Ancient in a while. Hopefully the quarter bin books have been expanded and refreshed. We'll just have to go and see. But all in all, it should be a fun day, and I'm going to try to catalog as much of it as I can, just so I can share it with you guys and maybe do a long form video where we can maybe interview some of the vendors and then talk to people. So yeah, stay tuned for that. All right, so getting back to the challenge at hand, what we're trying to focus on here are really books that we want to target. And here's a great example. I was talking about Neil Adams' kind of run on Superman. Here's a Neil Adams Action Comics cover, Action 358. This would be a great book to have. And again, like mid-grade in the $20 range. If we found this, or if it was on a wall somewhere, or even like bagged and boarded in like a box of, Ancient Comics, Action Comics, like Silver Age, like keys or books. This is something we would definitely try to dig as much of what we wanted out and negotiate the price. So I am going to actually uncheck and check this particular book as one of the books we would prioritize over others. And that includes this one as well. Another Neil Adams book. And this is all kind of around the same period of time. This one, it's a Neil Adams cover, but it's not really one of my favorite Neil Adams covers. So I'm just gonna, if it's there, it's there, but it's not really one of the ones I'm wanting. This is kind of more in that wheelhouse. Yeah, I think I would pick this up. Wouldn't want to spend too much on this one because there's a lot of copies of it. Let's take a look. A lot of the Golden Age books are obviously out of my price range, so just not worth even contemplating here. This is a great one. 10 center, low grade. And if we found this one on a wall somewhere, I could see maybe spending the money on. There's obviously lots of these kinds of books. I mean, as you like, this is another great one, right? First appearance of Streaky the Super Cat. That's a big book right there. You got Bizarro cover there. That's a big book right there, and that'd be kind of cool to run across and pick up. This is just really an inventory of, again, kind of looking at this and being like, yeah, a book like this exists, and this is something this is a great cover right here. This is Super Grown, the Super Pets, 10 center. This is a book, again, maybe we do spend $85 on this, but the more important thing is that we find it. And if we find it in low grade, and again, $30, decent, if it's presenting decently, yeah, that's something we'd want to pick up for sure. But there's so many books. I mean, you kind of want to, on the big books, you kind of want to get a lay of the land before. This is another great book. This is a one that would qualify as like a dollar bin book. So hopefully, run into stuff like that. But yeah, really, the targeting exercise are specific books that we really, really want to, like this one here. In all likelihood, we're not going to run into this, and even if we do, we're going to be priced out of it. So that's just not even worth spending time on. This is a great one. This is a Jim Lee cover here. Action 1000. Yeah, I mean, this would something we would maybe ask around about. Somebody might have it in a bin somewhere. Here's another great book. Another Neil Adams cover there. This kind of like kind of gives you an impression of what the Breaking of the Chains cover 233, Superman 233 might have looked like had Neil had complete control over the inking of that leg. This is actually a good one. Let's put that on our list as well. 443. This is a great one. Nick Cardy. Kind of keep that one off though. It's not screaming. It's got to scream, hey, you gotta buy me. Try to stick to the ones within our budget. Here's a great one. These are all great. This is a great one here. I doubt we'd find something in our budget on that one. Another great one, the first Bizarro Lois. That's a great one. Again, that one we'd have to find in. I'm gonna put this on the list, but again, I'm not holding my breath on that one. I'm sure they'll have it, but the question is whether they'll have it in the price range. This is a book. So another vendor that's going to be there is our good friend from Belkirk Coin and Stamp, the older gentleman. I think his name's Charlie. And I'm hoping he's at the show. Usually his daughter is there. And I don't know her too well, but if Charlie's there. At least he'll recognize me. And again, he'll have a book like this. And if he brings his Superman Action Comics kind of boxes, this is a book that should be in that bin because this was a book I was contemplating buying last time. Now, he had kind of like a mid-grade version of this book. I think it was priced at like $40 last time I checked. And again, this is something that we could definitely have on the list. It's a key book. Just love this cover. It's really kind of one we would want. Now, I didn't pick it up back in during the summer when I was at Belkirk, and this is kind of like, now that I have the budget, this is a book I might have stopped in had it there not been a show or anything. But now that Belkirk's going to be at the show, this is always sort of maybe a fallback, in case we're not running into anything, we don't find anything. This is a copy I'd target at Belkirk if they still have it, assuming that, and hopefully negotiate it for a very decent price. All right, so continuing on, these are all just amazing books here. Why is my Wi-Fi down? Oh, I turned it off, that's why. All right, well, let's go back. Let's see if that helps a little bit. There we go. Is that going to help? Maybe not. All right, let's try that again. Okay, so what is this? This is one of these Superman, and now it's Luma Lanai. Luma Lanai. I don't know if I want that one. Oh, this is a great one. This is one we'd want to pick up for sure. You got some villains here. You got Lex Luthor, Brainiac, members of the jury. Yeah, this is definitely a cool one. This is a classic one. I just feel like, I don't know, if I get lucky, I guess it'd have to be like low grade, again, kind of in that price range, 20, presentable. I doubt I'd find a copy for $20 though. That's a pretty big book. So, but we'll put it at the top, toward the top of the list. What's this one? Oh, it's like a Super Lewis one. That's kind of cool. I don't know if I'd necessarily target that one though. I kind of want to focus on, this is another big book. Yeah, Origin of Comet would be kind of cool. I do want to focus more on the Neil Adams books as well. Here's a great example. Yeah, this is oh man, look at that. 3 panels. This is one we'd want to target for sure. There's just so much in Action Comics. I really do have this like wish list of stuff that I want to look at. This Supergirl becomes Super Baby Girl. Come on, how could you not want that? All right, this may be one we like have to target. 260, yeah, for sure. That's a good one. And then a lot of you have been watching my channel, and kind of my wheelhouse of what what I like, what I'm picking up, right? Here's a great one, Super Lois. That's a big book right there in high grade, 1K. So that's kind of out of our price range already. This is more of a modern book, again, dollar bin book. What's this one? Yeah, not. A lot of these are Golden Age books. We're priced out of those for the most part. I'd love to just pick up like a degraded Golden Age book. That may be something we could do. First, Brainiac's not going to be at the show. First, Supergirl's not going to be. I mean, if it is, they're going to be very pricey books. Here's one. This is one I've been wanting for so long. It's Supergirl berating all these like Kryptonians that are like substitute Supermen, and it's just Neil Adams goodness. So we're gonna put that definitely toward the top. Now I've had opportunities to buy this one kind of in like low grade this past summer. So it's not like, you know, I'm sure this book will be there in some Action Comics box. So this is one we could realistically target and pick up. So that's kind of one of the ones we'll try to do. This is another great one. That's another great one there. I'm not going to necessarily target it though for now. This out of our price range. Oh, here's one. Yeah, this is the one we've been. So, you know, I have a lot of the books from the John Byrne run. This is actually one that's just kind of evaded me for some time. I know I've had opportunities to pick this up for like $8 to $10, but we really were looking for it for like around 5 or less. So that's what we're hoping. This Accurate City. This is another one. This Dan Mora cover, man. Not to say that I'm going to pick up a lot of modern books, but if this book is there for like $5 or so, yeah, you'd want to pick that one up. That's a great one. Here's another Neil Adams cover. Would want to pick up. Oh, this Wrestler Neil Adams cover, yes. This is one. We also had an opportunity to pick this one up as well. Just didn't have the budget, so kind of reserved it for down the road. Well, down the road is here, so we don't want to pick that up. Now, this is a book I've been wanting for a long time. And what's interesting is they have this at half price books right now. I think they have the the direct copy. But I don't mind, and they have it currently priced at, I think, $5. So this is something, if we run into a show for less, we could pick up, but again, that copy's at half price books right now. We haven't picked it up yet. This is also at half price books. It's currently priced at, I believe, $40. And again, it's in the case. So it's a backup, you know. $30 for this book is a really good deal. And from what I could tell, it was, you know, anywhere from mid to low grade for it. So again, we're talking, it's still a great deal based on, I mean, we didn't take a good look at the book, but it's there in the case for like, again, I think $40. And one thing we didn't check is the double page pinup. So it has to have the pinup. If it's missing, then it's not a complete book. So a lot of that is missing on many of these copies. So we'll have to check that. And if that pinup is there, then for like $40, it's really kind of a bargain there. But in all likelihood, it isn't. So this is something where if I come back to the show with zero budget, I'm just hoping that that book remains in there until we can scrounge up some money, maybe even into next year. But something tells me that Action Comics will be gone soon if it's not already, but we'll see. All right, well, we have just gone through all the Action Comics, and now you can see when we update this, you can see Action Comics at the top there because we've updated it. Now I'm going to take you through the Superman stuff. And as I've already put a lot of the Superman, I did this exercise yesterday, so you can see kind of what's at the top of the list for me in terms of Superman stuff. This is a big book. Now, Jeff has this. I think he had his priced at like $30. And again, I've had opportunities on eBay to pick it up for less. But I'm thinking I'm going to have to pay around that for this book, given all the Supergirl hype. So we'll see. And this is another great one. Got the Christmas tree, super kids there. We've got Bizarro cover here. That's always cool. So all of these are kind of like, if we run into them, could be the big, $50 book, or depending on. Here's one. This is a great one that we would love to pick up. That's just a great cover there, Nick Cardy cover. This is a great one. This, I believe, is it's a Kurt Swan cover. It's the one where he's not letting anybody drink from the fire hydrant. Oh, that's classic. Nobody gets a drop. That's just absolute classic goodness there. All right, so here's Superman 219. I recently was just kind of raving about Neil Adams' run on Superman from like 204 through 220 something, and this is just one of the great books by Neil. And again, if we could just pick up his entire Superman run, I'd be content with that. I'm hoping Randy has a lot of these in his reader copy, in his reader copy library, because that's really kind of where we'd want to keep the focus, right? So, in fact, why don't we head over there? Why don't we head over to Superman and just look at and just put all the books. Superman. And we're going to go to non-keys, and we're going to start at issue 204. And kind of put these at the forefront, just like kind of check them off. I already have this one. This is another great one. See, these are all the ones. Again, I have this one. We just put that at the top of our list. This one I have. These are all just great. That one I have, that one I have. There's another one we don't have. Have, do not have. This is a great one here. Another super baby cover here. Certificate of marriage. There we go. Here's a flash cover there. That's cool. Oh, Fatso Superman. Oh, we got to get this one. This is one we've been targeting for a while too. Super Fatso. Just so many good books here. These are all great ones. All great Neil Adams. Well, not all, but most of these are. Is this Neil Adams? Let's take a look. Kurt Swan's cover on this one. Oh, here's a classic. I already have this in my collection, but that's a classic one. There we go. So we have a lot of the ones I think we want to target. Obviously, we want to target that Superman, as many Neil Adams Superman books as we can. We got a couple here. I mean, this is another one. This isn't Neil Adams. I believe this is, I want to say Carmine Infantino, maybe? Yeah, Infantino. That's a great Infantino cover there. What's this one? Is that Neil? Yeah, this is Neil as well. That's something we want to pick up. A lot of these we have. This is another one. I have this in my collection. Then Roger actually worked on this book, made it absolutely beautiful, and we love it. But this is just such one of my, I don't mind having multiple copies of a book I love. And this is one where I ran into a really high grade copy at Ever Comics, I think 2 years back. And instead of picking it up, I kind of was just like, well, I have to kind of see what is in my, I just kind of check everything out. And that's what happens when you have like a tight budget. You kind of want to visit multiple shops and see what they have, and then decide what you want to target. Well, by the time I had come back to get this book, it was gone. And it was a high grade book, $20 for it. And I missed my opportunity there. So what I want to do at this show is actually look for a high grade copy. And if we find it, yeah, $15 just ridiculously cheap for finding that book in high grade. So we'll definitely pull the trigger there. There's another one I want. Superman 245, the 100-page. That is, oh man, that's just freaking goodness right there. So this one we don't mind. We just want to pick this one up on the cheap. Here's a Neil Adams. Is this Neil Adams? Pretty sure it is. Just check. No. It's signed Rick Buckler or somebody. Alright, that one we won't pick up. So a lot of these, there's another one I wouldn't mind having in really, really high grade, so we'll look out for that one. Like even a slabbed copy, something like 7.5. We'll see. Yeah, let's just put it on our list there. All right, and And I think that will kind of conclude this session because, oh, we do want to also check Lois Lane because there are some Lois Lane books that we want to target. There are also Wonder Woman Ballin books that we target. So I've already gone through that exercise. These are the things, if we run into dollar bin books on these Wonder Womans, we're definitely going to pick up in terms of the holes in our run. I do want to, I think I am targeting this book as well. Something in the $50 range for like a lower mid-grade copy. We'll see if that's there. That's kind of a hot book right now, though. So, I mean, I think if we find it, vendor or sellers are going to want top dollar for that book. So that just leads me to kind of like hold off. I mean, we want to get it, but like maybe we'll just have to see. We'd want to pick it up at a good price. All right, here is one. Here are some books that we are definitely wanting to target. Some of these like Lois Lane books here. Not this one in particular, but like this one. I think this one is one that Bronze Age Babe brought attention to us about. It's a Wonder Woman Lois Lane cover. This is also, I believe, Bob Oxner, if I'm not mistaken. No, Kurt Swan. Man, this is just a beautiful. Yeah, that's one. Here's a Neil Adams cover here. Definitely want to pick up that one. You know, this one here. Oh man, this one. There's an eBay listing right now, $99. And I was just thinking, man, maybe I should just get this and forgo the show altogether. But this is the one we definitely want to pick up. I think our only hope on picking this one up is like the rattiest of rat readers' copies. And even then, I don't think it'd be, it's like you get top dollar for that as well. So we'll just, oh, this is one. This is a great one. The kissing cover. That's Kurt Schaffenberger goodness. Hoping to find that in a bargain bin somewhere. Super Dad, this is a good one. Love that one. There's so many just like incredibly good Schaffenberger books here. This is a great one. And yeah, Super Baby as an accomplice there. That's always good. There's yeah, this one's good. That one would have to be kind of in the lower grade. I'm just trying to think. There's so many good. This is one. This is the Baby Lois Lane. Love books like this. And let's see. There's a bunch of like early Lois Lane stuff. And a lot of Neil Adams stuff. A lot of classic Kurt Schaffenberger stuff. Just so much here in terms of Lois Lane. So yeah, gonna just kind of keep. All of these are potentially books we could pick up. So here's another great cover here. That one there. So that is it. So that's kind of my strategy for Grit City Comic Con. I do have now, I have them by series, but obviously we kind of want to just look at it by issue and kind of remind ourselves, hey, this is what we are focusing on or trying to pick up. Just remind, keep us focused, right? If we have these in front of us and we run into something else, we want to remind ourselves, hey, this is not really a wish list book, but at the same time, with having this list in front of us, can also reinforce the fact that if we do run into something and we say like, wow, this is something I wasn't on my list, but I need to pick up, if it overrides the wish list, that's something that could also potentially be in play. So just wanting to keep kind of all the options open and use the budget wisely, but also take advantage of those opportune finds as well. So again, I'm going to chronicle and catalog this as I'm there, kind of take videos. I'm just horrible because I'm one of those people, like when I get to a show, I'm just so trying to be so efficient with my time and digging and trying to get through all the books, literally just like trying to dig through all the boxes and the bins. Think I'm going to be a little bit more focused now. I'll just forego if I see just like, okay, that bin's just full of a bunch of like random Marvel stuff, not really DC focused, then maybe I'll just hold off digging through there. But again, it's an exercise where you're competing with other collectors and you're kind of just trying to find what you want, find things in better condition for better prices and all that. So it is a lot of kind of efficient use of time, a blend of luck, and kind of due diligence, right? Just sitting there and digging through as much of what you're looking or what's there as you possibly can. So again, thanks for watching this video, and again, look out for the Grid City Comics show. If you're local and you're watching this ahead of the show, hit me up. Let's meet up. But hopefully I'll see a lot of you there, and hopefully we can chat and catch up. But yeah, I'll be back with a haul video, and I'll be back with sort of an overview, longer form video of what the show was like. All right, we'll see you in the next one, otakus. Peace out.